Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Tyler from Rock Solid Fabrication, and I'm here today to introduce you guys to our patented solution for the JK, JL, and JT ABS system when utilizing a Super Duty bearing. So basically, it has become very popular to use junkyard axles or aftermarket axle assemblies that utilize the 2005 to present Super Duty F250 or F350 single wheel unit bearing. So people re-drill these to 8 on 6.5 and they run these in their Jeeps. But the biggest issue has been ABS compatibility. For a while, there were a couple people making bearings that had the proper 52 tooth tone ring inside the bearing, but those are very difficult to get. And also, if that bearing were to fail, you have to go back to that manufacturer and buy another one, which is a big problem. So we developed an exterior solution that allows you to retrofit any off-the-shelf bearing. And basically the kit comes with 2 key components, your ring, which is 52 teeth, and a bracket that allows the factory Jeep ABS sensor to be mounted to the new Ford unit bearing. So it's real simple to install. You're gonna have your bearing. The first thing you're gonna do is check fitment of the ring over the back of the flange. So some of the ones that we've tested, this flange is slightly smaller and the ring slips on just right out of the box. Other ones, such as this Timken, these corners are a little bit bigger. I guess it's just dependent on the forging. And so you may have to take a flat disc or a grinding stone and just knock the corners off slightly to allow the ring to be able to slip past. So once you know that'll fit over that, you can take this off and you're ready to actually install it. So what you want to do first is take a rag and a little brake cleaner and just clean this exterior lip off on the bearing flange, the wheel flange, and make sure there's no oil residue on that. If there's any rust, like if it's a junkyard axle, you need to take some Scotch-Brite and just lightly clean that off. You do not want to remove any real material from the OD of this because the fitment's kind of critical. So if you do have to clean it, just be real gentle with it and keep in mind you don't want to remove material. So once you clean that off and everything's good, also take a little brake cleaner and just clean the inside of the tone wheel on this flange where it slips over. So, simple enough. Then you're gonna take some red Loctite. You're just gonna put a little bit all the way around. It doesn't take much. Doesn't have to have a lot. Like so. And like that. Just a small bead all the way around. And then you're gonna set the ring on. Kind of get it started, and then you're just gonna take a small hammer and just work your way around and just lightly tap it into place. Like so. Just make sure it's good and seated. You're gonna wanna let the Loctite set up. In the meantime, you're gonna take the bracket and use your factory ABS sensor. It'll fit in there, but first you gotta install this onto the bearing. So you have a little nipple that basically acts as a plug. It's gonna go in the factory ABS hole on the bearing assembly. Install that, start the bolt. And go ahead and snug that up. You want to make sure the bracket stays square and you're tightening everything down. And then simply install the sensor into the bracket. Like so. You may have to remove the O-ring. Install the sensor into the bracket. And then install the factory Jeep bolt. And snug that up. And that's it. Once the Loctite is cured, you're then ready to install the bearing assembly onto the vehicle. This will work with pretty much any brand knuckle that accepts this bearing. So it can be a factory Ford knuckle, it can be a Reed knuckle, some of the Spider Track stuff. As long as it uses this bearing and you're putting it into an 07 to current Wrangler or Gladiator, the setup works. This is a JK ABS sensor. You have to keep the sensor that come from the vehicle with that vehicle. So if it's a JK, you have to use a JK sensor. If it's a JL, you have to use a JL sensor. But it's the same kit for either vehicle. It works exactly the same. So there you have it, simple solution. This can be removed, heat this up, take it off. You can transfer it to a new bearing should this one ever fail. The bracket comes off, same deal. So this kit is reusable. You don't have to buy a special bearing every time, and it does work with 8 on 6.5 or 8 on 170 bolt patterns. So it's a pretty universal kit. It'll solve a lot of problems, and we feel like it's going to be a good fit for you guys. So if you need one of these kits, feel free to give us a call at the shop. It's 423-702-5777, and just one of the sales guys will get you taken care of, but we'll be happy to get one to you. Thanks for watching.